Bandidos, what up? Your boy Tux here. I got this season's best XP farm builds ready for you. In time for what? Well, the first XP farm event is about to begin. Let's do this.
Wait, did we just become best friends? So nice to meet you. I think you're cool.
Piece of shit wristwatch.
I have this adjusted for both beginners and for players who've been here for a while, and I'm going to walk you through how to get the best XP in the game as well. So this will be more than just a build video. Check the timestamps if you need to skip around. First, timing is everything. If you go here in your menu and then tab over to events, and just one day we have the 3x XP event. 3 times the XP. These events typically last for a full week. After this, we have the Dark Zone XP event. There's a Kenley College XP event, and then there's going to be the 5x XP event. So you want to make sure you have your builds finely tuned for this. You don't have to do anything to receive the 3x XP. It's just going to apply. So log in, play the game. Okay, let's get into the builds. But if you need some tips on what activities to do to farm XP, I'll get into that after the builds. Again, check your timestamps. Let's start with the build I recommend for beginners and veterans, a determined sniper build. It has been updated for this season, and I have some recommendations for the modifiers. This build is super strong and does not require modifiers to successfully farm XP. The idea of this build is to basically park it, sit in one spot, and clear the entire control point or activity. It starts with sharpshooter. You're going to want to run this because of the ammo hoarders. Sharpshooter will supply you with more ammo when you're in cover. For the primary weapon, I'm running White Death. It happens to be one of the strongest, but it's also my favorite. Where can you get it? Well, try farming Countdown, turn your targeted loot to snipers, but also tons of named items drop at the extraction zone. You don't need expertise on this whatsoever, but if you're a new player, look to put 12% on all of your favorite weapons. Anything that's considered an XP farm build or XP farm weapon, you want to heavily invest in. You want those builds to be really efficient. The digital scope comes from sharpshooter, and then I have stability for the under that helps manage weapon sway. We have reload speed. This comes with the perfect headshot damage, and then you want determined. So this basically turns every body shot into a headshot. You can even shoot them in the pinky. That's why this is recommended for new players. If you feel like you're not good at headshots, although it's a sniper build, you actually don't have to be good at headshots. All you need to do is at least land 2 headshots up front, and from there you can hit the enemy anywhere on the body. So I run Nemesis as my backup weapon. I like to kick off the fight with the Nemesis, but if you don't have this, then don't sweat it. What I like to do is get my kill shot with the Nemesis, and then I switch over to the White Death, and then I need to land 1 more headshot to activate Determined, and I'm good to go. So I use the Nemesis to activate Headhunter, which is the chest talent. Everything is about Headhunter here. Habsburg, 2 pieces technically, so we're getting headshot damage and marksman rifle. This one has armor, and then we have weapon handling and headshot damage, and then I'm running Headhunter. Headhunter gives you up to 1,250% from your last headshot killing blow. So once you have this activated, you're just going to town on these guys. So weapon handling and headshot damage is the equation here. The backpack is my second piece. Vigilance, which is giving your first shot more power. Don't worry about vigilance being disabled thereafter. We're only using it to power our first shot. Now the gear set, 3 pieces of hot shot. We don't need the 4-piece set. You're welcome to use it. It's actually pretty good. So this gives us 30% marksman, 30% weapon handling, and then 30% headshot damage. I got a red core with headshot damage. The gloves look exactly the same. The holster as well. For the knees, we're running something different. I decided to go with the named Eminence armaments, and they're called Cloak. So this gives you 5% weapon damage, which is pretty good. I'll take it. More weapon damage. And then I have headshot damage here. The perfect stat is 50% reduced threat. That means the enemies aren't going to be targeting you as much, especially those riot foamers and those fire grenaders. The skills I have chosen are great for the cool skills directive, and the modifiers are going to help us out here too. We'll get into that, but I'm running the decoy. This is really good for snipers. When this is out, the NPCs are attracted to it, and they'll even get out of cover and walk in straight lines instead of doing acrobats. This has a 119% threat level, so with this threat level and your decrease in threat from your knee pads, you should be avoiding some good damage. My other skill is the fortified smart cover. So this is giving you bonus armor when behind it. So you want to use this all the time. Because of this, you don't need any armor on kill. The bonus armor is refreshable. The skill is active. Just get out of cover real quick and then snap back into cover, and it'll refresh your bonus armor. That's 50% bonus armor. We have 350% headshot damage. Okay, the modifiers matter. All of this is great, but we don't really need any of it. Everything on this board will help a little bit. So one thing we're going to be playing into is the cooldown resets coming from the electronics at tier 5. We're using TechLink to do that. Every 60 seconds, we can refresh the cooldowns on our skills. In other words, you can have back-to-back smart cover. So you can have that up full time. But you don't need to overuse this because the cooldowns on that thing is pretty quick. And you're going to be eliminating targets and getting electronic tiers, which is going to give you a decrease in cooldowns as well. On top of that, while at least tier 3 in both firearms and electronics, your skill duration is increased by 25% of your current critical hit damage, which is going to be about 15% more duration. So you're getting faster cooldowns and more duration, which means you're going to have really good uptime on your smart cover. The other one that's really nice here is the best kind of defense. While at least tier 3 in both firearms and stamina, which is really easy, you're going to get 2.5% headshot damage for every 100,000 in total armor. That's about 22.5% more headshot damage. Not game changing, but that's equivalent to 2 mods. For the last one, it's just dealer's choice. If you don't have the Nemesis, I recommend going specialized. So this is going to give you 10% increased signature weapon damage for each firearm tier. You're going to have 4 firearm tiers. So that's 40% more damage to your TAC 50, which is already a beast. Quick heads up, a lot of players really like the SR1. The power difference is negligible, but it does give you a larger mag. This is a build that I refine every single season, my tried and true XP farm build with a twist. Normally, all 6 cores are blue. I decided you didn't need that this season. There's a couple of reasons why. One reason is the hostile modifiers. The stamina mark gives enemies overheal. They have a health bar. It reduces your critical hit damage by 35%, which is huge. So by all means, don't crit on these guys because it'll literally take 35% of your damage away. So normally when I'm running all blue cores, I'm hitting somewhere around 10 to 12 million or something like that. If I accidentally crit, it's going to drop me below the 10 million threshold. In order to eliminate an elite with a single shot, you need that shot to be at least 10 million. In order to counter any inconsistencies because of crits, even though I'm not running a crit build, it still happens. I need what I call overkill. So I need at least 35% give or take overkill so I can eliminate that target even if I crit. And that's one reason why I took off all of the armor cores. The other reason is because of arm modifiers and the new smart cover. So I'm utilizing the fortified smart cover again. So this is giving me so much bonus armor. I'm good to go. So I'm just taking advantage of that. And then the memento is still giving us a little bit of bonus armor and armor regen and weapon damage and skill efficiency. I did want the skill efficiency to help with the skills so that their uptime is really good. The other reason I went with our red cores is because we have layers of survivability here. So 20% armor on kill, and we are staggering enemies when we kill one of their neighbors, applying the status effect or controlling the crowd. And we want Apex Predator because it's giving us that 20% amplified damage just for fucking standing there. And then we're getting more amplified damage on kill. And then I'm running weapon damage and headshot damage on everything. If you've been following me for a while, then you know that this is my tried and true build. And if you've made it too, then all you need to do is change your blue cores into red cores. And there's more to this. The knee pads look the same. Here's the holster. And finally the mask. So everything's the same. Now for the chest, you have options. I decided to go with Overlord, but you could also go with Providence or even Habsburg. Just like the sniper build, we're running Headhunter. That's because we want to kill with headshots so that we don't use very much ammo because of the directives. So my primary weapon is the 1886. You don't need 30% weapon damage, but like I said earlier, any XP farm build or weapon you want to roll into it, try to get 12% on yours. For my backup weapon, I'm running the Nemesis, the Harvest pistol with Determined. More about that in a moment. Notice I'm running Firewall. Well, that's a weird choice. So Firewall's armor kits are insane. Your armor kit recovers 200% armor and 200% health over 10 seconds. It makes you extremely hard to kill. And this is one of the reasons why I decided not to run armor. Thanks to the global modifier, if you look at the stamina perk, it says at tier 5, all armor kits are refilled. That basically means unlimited armor kits. In order to get that, you want to run security links so you can activate that every 60 seconds. You don't need to though. You're not going to use that many armor kits, but when you need to, you can activate that. Otherwise, just go ahead and keep the rest of your modifiers or go with whatever ones you want. So with that being said, the memento is basically overkill on the build. So you don't really need the memento at all. You got plenty of survivability here. So if you wanted to put vigilance on your backpack instead, feel free to do that. For the pistol players, here's a variation of this build. Run the harvest. If you're new, you might not have this. In that case, just run the police magnum, which is the non-named version of this. It'll be close enough. Run determined. So same thing. Body shots turn into headshots with this. Great. So use your nemesis. If you don't have this, then maybe use sharpshooter instead. Get your first shot kill within 15 meters using one of your heavier guns. Once you've activated Headhunter on your chest piece, then switch over to your pistol. Get one more headshot to activate Determined, and then you're good to go. Instead of running Overlord, that's going to give you 20% pistol damage, weapon handling, and headshot damage. All right, let's talk about where to go for that XP. The Division 2 doesn't really have any XP runs. The devs have done a pretty good job of neutralizing all of the XP, so you basically get the same XP per hour no matter the PvE content that you're taking on. So when somebody asks me, hey Tux, what's the best XP in the game? Well, it's not an activity, it's a build. Let me explain. So if you go into your map, go to global settings, the real best way to get XP is through these global directives. For every global directive you add, you get an extra 25% XP on every activity that you do, up to 125%. But it also makes the game harder. And if we're looking to farm XP, then the whole goal is to get the best XP per hour. And if these directives considerably slow you down, then you'd be better off running no directives for a better XP per hour gain. So my goal is to deliver you builds that make running all directives feel as easy as if you weren't running any directives. Builds that have an answer for each one of these directives. Ammo hoarders limit your ammo, so you really want to stay away from RPM based weapons. Cool skills means when you use one skill, it puts the other skill on cooldown. So there's certain skills that just won't work with this directive, like hives. Shields also don't work with cool skills. Fog of War makes it so that the enemies aren't showing up on your minimap, and then fragile armor means when you break your armor, you lose a chunk of armor that you have to fix with an armor kit in order for that chunk of armor to be useful again. And with the 3x XP event, that's 375% more XP on everything you do. Here's the reality. Ragers is glitched, so we can't use it. So instead, you have 100% XP on the table, and then you're going to multiply that by 3. So that's 300% XP. It's a little frustrating right now, but fragile armor can bug out on you. An armor kit doesn't fix it. Then you have to reset things to get rid of the bug. That can be very disruptive to your XP farming. Use fragile armor at your own risk. For the gameplay I'll be showing you today, some of the fights will have fragile armor just to show you that the builds work for fragile armor. With fragile armor being the question, the build has an answer for it. In most of the gameplay I have today, I turned fragile armor off because it kept glitching on me. So you know. Now, what activities do you do? Well, if you're a newer player, don't feel obligated to go to heroic. Challenging gets you about the same XP per hour anyways. A lot of beginners like to do public executions because they're quick and it comes with a mix of enemies instead of everybody just being all elites. So it's a lot easier. Some, like myself, do control points. I prefer this because there's a little loot cave at the end and those drop exotic components. Plus you fight 2 named bosses that dropped named items. Also, there's lots of materials throughout the control points, as well as a lot more gear dropping, which I deconstruct for materials, and this helps keep me topped off. It's also a passive way to farm because of all these drops. So I tend to get really good drops from time to time, and that saves me from having to do too many countdown runs in the future. The third way is just to mix it up. It's called zone farming, and this is the best spot to do it. So just keep going around the Washington Monument as many times as you can, and then eliminate the control points sort of towards the end. Once the control points are eliminated, the random activities in the zone will stop spawning as frequently. So you'll have to reset your map at that point, which is not a big deal. You can fast travel to Tidal Basin as a jump off point. No matter which of these activities you do, you're gonna net about the same XP per hour. Trust me, tested them all for many, many seasons. It always comes out to the same. In fact, control points usually net me a little bit more per hour because other activities can wander into control points. Here's the golden ticket. Besides the activities, I'm going to give you one more, which would be a fourth layer of XP, and that's going to be priority objectives. This is very important to squeeze this in as much as possible. I was using this, so I don't have this set up for demonstration right now. This mission one on the far left, it says at the bottom that the reward, the bonus reward, is going to be XP. The other reward it gives you, that 439% number, is season pass XP. So you're getting multiple rewards. This is in addition to the XP you're getting from the mission itself. So let's decrypt this. There you go. So the XP it's giving me is 659,000. That is almost one level. You need 700,000 to get an SHD level. For XP farming, I stay away from missions. In the priority objectives, look for anything that says open world for the map that you're farming. Now, PvP can be a really good XP farm if you're into it.
Thank you for hanging out with me. I'm Tuxedo Bandido, and if you found this video helpful, be sure to hit the like, subscribe, and turn on your notifications so you don't miss out on the good stuff I have coming for you. And if you like content like this, be sure to check out the video I have recommended for you right here. If you have anything you would like me to cover, be sure to let me know in the comments below. And thank you to all the channel members and donors who make things possible. Tux Nation wouldn't be the same without you.
When you buy a game from Ubisoft, enter the creator code Tuxedo Bandido to support the channel. Easy peasy.
Wait, did we just become best friends?